I was giving it a second here to make sure this is recording. Hi there, this is Melinda with Bated Breath Tarot, and this is something a little different than what I normally do on my channel, but as we are all comprised of many things as individuals, keeping these the multiple parts of myself that I am comprised of separate on like all these individual channels is really kind of getting to be tiresome and cumbersome and getting kind of old. So, and I feel perhaps maybe even to some extent unhealthy. So, today, well, recently, lately, a lot has been coming to me involving the topic of ghosting. And it's occurred to me that perhaps this would be an appropriate topic to address as part of the collective. I've compiled a list here, basically research and reminders regarding ghosting. And the information I found has come from sources such as Psychology Today, the VA Blueprint, psychcom.net, verywellmind.com, mindbodygreen, current.com, bodyandsoul.com, psychcentral.com, confidentlyauthentic.com, elite daily, hello relish, attachment project, unoffduty.com. And these are this is by no means an endorsement of any of these, but I've just really found a compilation of the things they had to share regarding the subject helpful. So this is, in my words, what I found in my research and things I wanted to share. Number one may ask, what is the reason for ghosting? It often has a great deal more to do with the ghoster than it does the ghostee. The ghoster disengages in order to spare themselves from responsibility, confrontation, and the labor of emotional empathy, despite these things potentially providing positive benefits like understanding, forward movement, and growth. Number two, is ghosting a form of emotional abuse? Ghosting is a form of avoidance and is reflective of a personality or ego who goes into a protective mode. It is a basal survival skill of the old brain, like a knee-jerk reaction rather than a response. It does not really take into account anyone else's feelings. So while ghosting may be intended to protect the avoidant, it can certainly be very hurtful to the individual on the receiving end of the treatment, not to mention counterproductive. Number three, words used to describe feelings involved with being ghosted include disrespected, used, and disposable, as ghosting leaves no explanation of whatever issue is at hand in order to resolve it. And for those with self-esteem or abandonment issues of their own, being ghosted can bring these to the surface. Number four, ghosting is the ultimate passive-aggressive way to end relationship and is not doing anyone favors as to learning and growing one's abilities regarding communication. It's just not. I take a pause because even myself a couple of times I've experienced where things seem to be going well, and I'll say, like insert red flag here. I don't understand this at all, but where where you can put a little heart on someone's comment on, say, Messenger or whatever, and they've never done that before. Then suddenly one day they heart one of your comments and you like never hear from the individual ever again. And so yeah, you might want to look for that one. It's extremely confusing. Or actually, I hope you never experience that one because it's extremely confusing. I believe we were on number 5. It is even noted that ghosting can be used as a power play, which is supremely distressing and absolutely is abuse. Number 6. Another question is, what does being ghosted do to the brain? As we hear, I guess the question about is it abuse or not? Well, abuse can rewire the brain. So I believe this is particularly interesting regarding the questions, is it abuse and what does it do to the brain? Not only does being ghosted hurt deeply, it affects the entire brain, activating a systemic experience of loss that stems from our amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex without explanation, a way to ask questions and get answers, or any way to organize sequences of events. Number 7, so what does the ghoster feel after ghosting? After ghosting someone, 65% of ghosters feel anxiety, awkwardness, and guilt. Number 8, I believe the best I've heard about this is the following. Ghosting, which involves vanishing without a trace, avoiding any contact, is not acceptable, period. Whether it is used to cut someone off or to show sudden and certain disinterest, ghosting leaves whoever is on the receiving end in a constant state of unresolved confusion. And tactics like ghosting are used by toxic individuals to control and manipulate situations and people. So bottom line, the need to ghost is coming from an unhealthy individual and an unhealthy state, or wounded part of an individual's personality and ego. So what can one do? What can be done about this? I hate to say, but it seems like a phenomenon. The only suggestion that I've found and seemed reasonable is give it 3 days. And we all have lives and things come up all the time, but when I heard give it 3 days, my immediate, and my apologies and no irreverence or disrespect, was, yeah, that seems fair considering it even took Jesus only 3 days. So here we are on the topic of ghosting. I am going to pull some cards live on camera here for you. Hold tight. The first deck I would like to use is the Blind Spot Oracle cards by Teal Swan. So I'm going to ask the question of what is it we're missing? What is our blind spot regarding ghosting? Okay, like right now at this time or ever. Well, that was really quick. It must have really wanted to speak to us. So I've got sigil number 14, and I'm going to have to look that up for you because this is a large deck. We're going to have a look at it here. Give me just a moment, please. Okay. Teal writes, number 14 is the gift. If you have drawn this sigil, you are not clearly seeing the gift of this circumstance, just the drawback. You are clearly seeing how what happened or is happening is damaging you, but you can't see how it is helping, or even how it is exactly what is needed to get you to what you've always wanted. If an ant in South America were to dream of something that only existed in Africa. So if an ant in Africa were to dream of something that only existed in Africa, that ant could not see how to get there, or even that Africa exists. That would be easy for you as a human to see. So you would get the ant to his ultimate desire by putting him on a plane. But the second you put that ant on the plane, he would feel as though you were abusing him and doing things against his best interest. He would feel as if he was losing everything in this scenario. You are the ant, and the universe is you. There is something of value, one gift or many, inherent in every experience, no matter how painful it is. When we throw the whole situation away as negative, we are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Look for the positives in the situation you were in or are in. Look for how it served you and gave to you instead of how it took away. If you have drawn this sigil, you aren't seeing the bigger picture in the same way that an animal can't see that a person who is setting it free from a trap is there to help. You are not currently seeing that everything that happens is a puzzle and is a piece in the big picture of what you truly want. And often the universe knows how to best get us there much better than we ourselves do. That feels really deep and kind of intense and massive. So while we reflect on that, maybe the fairies can assist with some information, some words of their own. So let's see. So this is the Faery Oracle of Brian Froud. Okay. This as the guardian at the gates. We have the guardian at the gate. It's also the number 3. Isn't that funny? Talking about 3 days. And so basically the guardian at the gate shows us and tells us how, all of our ancestors, spirit guides, on our journey and our shift from one state to another, change in paths, change in direction. We can't be shoved through the gate. We can be guided to it. We, shown everything that there is to know from this side of it. Well, we do not know what is on the other side. That takes faith and courage. And regarding ghosting, it's an interesting card to come up because you look at this from both sides, both the side of the ghoster and both the side of the ghostee. It's like one is on each side of that gate. Lastly, I'm going to pull a Healing with the Fairies card. Enduring Virtue. Okay. And this one I will read to you out of the book as well. trust your intuition. Card meeting, it is safe for you to follow your heart's guidance. You know deep down what to do. This card asks you to trust and follow this inner intelligence. Has your inner guidance been trying to get your attention lately? Perhaps a gut feeling is tugging at you like a seeing eye dog. An inner voice has been screaming at you, or you've had dreams charged with profound emotions and symbolism lately. By drawing this card, you are being urged to pay careful attention to these various forms of intuition. Now is not the time to ignore these messages or procrastinate. Trust this inner wisdom just as you would if it came from a respected teacher. Know that you aren't imagining the guidance. Its powerful and repetitive voice is a sign that you are truly getting clear and trustworthy messages that are worth following. Affirmation: I trust and follow my feelings and thoughts without question or delay. Let's say this 2 more times, okay? I trust and follow my feelings and thoughts without question or delay. And 1 more time. I trust and follow my feelings and thoughts without questions or delay. So this has been a reading for the collective by me, Melinda, with Baby Breath Tarot. If you've appreciated this content, I would ask that you like and subscribe and share with anyone else who may appreciate the content. Thank you so much. Blessed be, and namaste.